Question number 43 of the ID Passport exam from PhilNITS. In this question, we are being asked, which of the following is the most appropriate combination of the measures against password theft and brute force attack, respectively, on websites having a login function? Okay, let's highlight a few things. Login function, password theft, brute force attack, appropriate combination, measures against. Okay, so we want to prevent password theft, brute force attack from misusing the login feature. When I say misusing the login feature, there's a login page and the password theft. That part there. What can we do so that the password will not be stolen and used to log in? And then for the second one, brute force attack, what can we do so that person attempting to log in via brute force attack won't be able to do so successfully? Okay, so we got two columns. This one again isn't really supposed to be difficult. The trick here is, of course, we read each and every choice, and actually we'll find that there's a pattern here. Like for example, using single sign-on. This one limiting the number. So there's only a two combinations of or two possibilities for brute force attack, and also for the first column, password theft, there's also only two possibilities: sending password via encrypted communication and setting a string that's difficult to guess as the password. So um, if we can't really identify the correct answer for the first column, we can focus more first on what seems to be a lot easier. In this case, the brute force attack, where um, we got using single sign-on and limiting the number of attempts at entering the password. Um, Using single sign-on, if it doesn't quickly make sense to you, this other one, limiting the number of attempts, I think is a lot clearer and a way definitely to prevent a brute force attack from successfully logging in. Now, just to explain what single sign-on signifies, I think it means that if you know the password and you've logged in, then you don't need to write your password again or enter your password again. So in that sense, if the person has brute force attacked the web page, login page, and has gotten hold of the password, then he wouldn't need to do a brute force attack anymore at all, because he could log in already. So this one, I think, is not a way to, it's not a measure to prevent brute force attack. So we got B or D. And if we look at the first column, password theft, we got sending password via encrypted communication, or setting a string that is difficult to guess as the password. This part about setting a string that is difficult to guess, I think this one, a string and guess a password, made me look at the other choice, which is encrypted communication. I think this part about encrypted communication is much stronger than having something like guess as the password. Difficult to guess because a person maybe without using any mathematical tools at all, an ordinary person, um, he might come up with a password that is difficult to guess for him, but eventually um, it's actually a lot easier to guess. Whereas if we use an encrypted communication, where the password can be anything, and adding an extra security layer here, which is the encrypted communication part, then that makes it a lot more difficult to identify. And we know that websites that use HTTPS with the S at the end is supposed to make things a lot secure for data transfer. Although, of course, because we know that the encryption to do the HTTPS, like if we're using RSA, usually you get those via email. So if you purchased the RSA encryption feature, then they'll send you the encryption key. But because they use emails and the attacker also has access to the email, because they've already gotten hold of the encryption key there, then any encryption that you'll be adding will be available for the attacker too. So if you're the attacker, what you want would be the emails, the web services that people use to receive encrypted keys. And because you got hold of the emails encryption, then you can get hold of more keys. So I think that's a logical way to think about what an attacker would do, because it's like um, you got hold of the main email where people send the encryption keys, and just get those things from there, and you can access any other web service, the passwords, the usernames, all these things. And I think what companies have done, like the Kaspersky service, Kaspersky web service, which sells also antivirus and security products, security related products. They say that the RSA, you generate a new one as often as you can. Like for example, every 6 months or so, you you change your RSA encryption key so that the person who has gotten hold of your encryption would need to again update his database. The other thing is also, well, if they're using the email to get hold of the encryption, then why don't you transfer the encryption key via USB pen drive and then come here physically? Of course, again, that part there I think might be too costly for certain companies, definitely, because, for example, flying someone from another country to the Philippines, and the flight alone would cost you how much? Maybe 25,000 pesos just for one way, and I think that would be much more to shoulder for the company, especially if the company isn't that big yet. And so um, I think this part about encryption and about people accessing the emails and the data being sent there, there are ways to reduce the damage. Of course, um, sometimes you're required to pay much more. Like in the case of flying someone from another country to here, bringing the pen drive, or changing the RSA much more often, like 6 months, every 6 months or so. So it's like the attacker um, knows that if you don't want your website passwords there, whatever information that people send there to be compromised, then you pay more. You pay more for the security, you pay more for this, and I think um, it's uh, it's something that people eventually would think of as well. Um, I just keep on paying and paying, and then these guys are just continuously attacking me. It's like I'm just wasting my money, right? Maybe I should just put it in another place. So I think that's something that we can also observe. Certain people would tend to do that. What's the point of giving money to the security when I still am being attacked? So I guess that's something to think about, and also that's why there are people who accuse certain countries of doing the attacks themselves. Because if they attack you and you need some kind of security, then you buy the security from any of their services. Okay, all right. So the correct answer for this number is the letter B.